Doctor's warning. Masturbation after 65 can cause extremely harmful senior health, old age. Have you ever wondered how certain habits affect your body as you age? Some things that seemed harmless in your younger years might not be as harmless as you think. What if one habit, something often dismissed as natural, could be quietly affecting your heart, energy levels, and even your cognitive function? Doctors and researchers are uncovering unexpected links between frequent masturbation after 65 and health concerns that many seniors experience without realizing the cause. From cardiovascular strain and nervous system fatigue to disrupted sleep cycles and prostate irritation, this daily habit might be influencing your well-being in ways you never considered. As we get older, our bodies don't bounce back as quickly, and certain activities can silently deplete energy, impact circulation, and even increase feelings of isolation. This isn't about fear, it's about awareness. By understanding how your body changes, you can make small adjustments that support your long-term health. And trust me, the last point in this video is one that almost no one talks about, but it plays a crucial role in your overall well-being. Before we begin, if you haven't subscribed yet, make sure to do so. We bring you essential health insights for a longer, stronger life. Now, let's dive in. 1. Cardiovascular risks. The great Stoic philosopher Epictetus once said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." In life, we often believe we are in control, until one day, we realize our own bodies have limits we never considered. William, 72, had always prided himself on being in good shape. He wasn't a marathon runner, but he walked daily, did yard work, and never felt short of breath. Yet he began noticing something unsettling. After certain activities, a strange lightheadedness would come over him. His heart would race for longer than it should, and sometimes he felt a slight pressure in his chest. It wasn't painful, but it was enough to make him pause. At first, he dismissed it. After all, aging brings small inconveniences, aches, stiffness, occasional fatigue. But one evening, after standing up too quickly, a sudden wave of nausea hit him, and he had to steady himself against the table. That's when he knew it was time to see his doctor. The visit was sobering. His doctor explained that while his heart was still strong, his blood vessels weren't as flexible as they used to be. The American Heart Association warns that as we age, arteries naturally stiffen, making it harder for the heart to adjust to sudden changes in exertion. What once felt effortless, walking upstairs, carrying groceries, even small bursts of movement, can now cause an unexpected sense of fatigue or dizziness. Engaging in any form of intense physical effort, even briefly, causes a sudden spike in heart rate and blood pressure. For younger individuals, the cardiovascular system adapts quickly, but for older adults, the sudden rush of circulation can be overwhelming, especially if underlying conditions like hypertension, arterial stiffness, or irregular heartbeat are present. Research shows that frequent, rapid heart rate surges in seniors increase the risk of arrhythmias, irregular heart rhythms that in some cases can trigger more serious complications. William hadn't realized that what seemed like harmless moments of exertion were silently straining his cardiovascular system. His heart, once quick to recover, now took longer to return to a steady rhythm. His doctor reassured him. His symptoms were a warning, not a crisis. But it was time to make changes. The solution wasn't to stop being active, but to become more intentional. Instead of sudden exertion, William learned to regulate his breathing before physical activity, allowing his heart rate to rise gradually. He also increased hydration, ensuring his blood pressure remained stable, and paid closer attention to how his body responded to different activities. Within weeks, the dizzy spells faded. This experience changed William's perspective. He had spent his whole life believing that staying active was enough, but now he understood that longevity isn't just about strength, it's about awareness. It's about listening to the body's signals and treating it with care, like maintaining an aging but well-loved machine, oiled, maintained, respected. Now let me ask you, Have you ever ignored a small warning sign from your body, only to later realize it was trying to tell you something? Aging teaches patience, but it also teaches wisdom. What's one lesson your body has taught you about growing older? Share your thoughts in the comments. 2. Nervous system fatigue. The philosopher Seneca once said, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." But what if the exhaustion you feel isn't just in your imagination? What if it's a sign your nervous system is struggling to keep up? As we age, we expect our bodies to slow down. But Richard, 69, never imagined his energy would disappear completely. He had always been structured, waking up early, following a routine, but now something had changed. He woke up feeling as if he hadn't slept at all. His mornings dragged on, his thoughts felt foggy, and even the things he once enjoyed, his books, his garden, felt like chores. At first he blamed it on aging. "I guess this is just how it is," he told himself. But deep down he wasn't convinced. One day at his doctor's visit he heard something that made everything click. The National Institute on Aging explains that, as we grow older, our nervous system takes longer to recover from stress and stimulation. Over time, constant exposure to digital screens, anxiety-inducing news, and irregular sleep cycles can overstimulate the brain, depleting dopamine, the body's natural motivation chemical. Instead of feeling energized, the brain enters a state of chronic fatigue, making even simple tasks feel overwhelming. Richard's doctor explained that exhaustion isn't just about aging, it's about how we use our energy. His nervous system wasn't shutting down. It was running on overdrive, constantly stimulated but never truly resting. Determined to take action, Richard made a few small changes. Instead of starting his morning with stress-inducing news, he took a quiet walk. Instead of numbing himself with TV in the evenings, he picked up an old hobby, playing the piano. Slowly, his mind felt clearer, his energy steadier. Reduce overstimulation. Too much screen time, late-night stress, or background noise keeps the nervous system in a constant state of alertness. Instead, opt for quiet, restorative activities like reading or deep breathing before bed. Prioritize deep, uninterrupted sleep. Studies show that poor sleep weakens the nervous system's ability to reset, leading to long-term fatigue. Choose activities that naturally replenish dopamine. Creative hobbies, light social interactions, and spending time outdoors help restore mental energy. Weeks later, Richard woke up one morning and realized he finally felt rested. He hadn't changed his life, just the way he used his energy. And for the first time in years, he wasn't just getting through the day, he was enjoying it. So I ask you, have you ever felt tired? Not just in your body, but in your soul? Have you noticed how certain habits drain or restore your energy? Share your thoughts in the comments. You never know who you might help. 3. Sleep disruptions. The Greek philosopher Aristotle once said, "It is well to be up before daybreak, for such habits contribute to health, wealth, and wisdom." But what if rising with the sun no longer feels refreshing? What if you wake up feeling just as tired as when you went to bed? That was exactly what happened to Gerald, a 74-year-old retired school principal. He had always believed sleep was something automatic, an afterthought to a long day. But recently, despite spending 7 hours in bed, he felt drained by morning. His days were sluggish, his focus was scattered, and by mid-afternoon, he felt like he needed a nap just to function. At first, Gerald assumed this was just part of aging. Your body slows down, your energy fades, and that's just life, he told himself. But deep down, something felt off. One evening, while watching a documentary on sleep science, something caught his attention. The expert explained how overstimulation before bed, especially activities that trigger high dopamine release, could interfere with the body's natural sleep cycle. As we age, our brain produces less melatonin, the hormone responsible for deep sleep. The National Sleep Foundation warns that seniors often experience lighter, fragmented sleep due to declining melatonin levels and overstimulation from screens, stress, and irregular routines. When the brain is flooded with dopamine through late-night TV, social media, or even overthinking, it struggles to wind down, resulting in shallow, restless sleep. Gerald had unknowingly been sabotaging his own rest. Instead of preparing his mind for sleep, he was keeping it overstimulated, making it impossible to truly rest. Determined to change, Gerald adjusted his nightly routine. Instead of watching TV until bedtime, he picked up a book. He dimmed the lights an hour before sleep, practiced deep breathing, and created a quiet, relaxed environment. The first few nights were difficult. His body was used to its old habits. But gradually something shifted. Limit stimulation before bed. Avoid screens, loud noise, or stressful conversations at least 1 hour before sleep to allow melatonin production to stabilize. Create a consistent sleep schedule. Research shows that going to bed and waking up at the same time helps regulate the body's circadian rhythm. Engage in calming activities. Reading, listening to soft music, or practicing deep breathing helps naturally trigger the brain's relaxation response. After a few weeks, Gerald finally woke up feeling rested. His energy levels improved, his focus sharpened, and for the first time in years he felt like himself again. One morning, as he sipped his coffee, Gerald realized something profound. Sleep isn't just about closing your eyes and hoping for the best. It's a ritual, a process that requires care and intention. So let me ask you, have you ever woken up feeling exhausted, even after a full night's sleep? Have you noticed patterns in your rest that might be linked to your habits before bed? Share your experience in the comments. Your insights might help someone else finally wake up feeling refreshed. Or prostate and urinary health. The ancient Roman physician Galen once said, "The greatest wealth is health." But as men age, they often accept certain discomforts as inevitable, rather than as signs of something that can be improved. That was the case for Leonard, a 71-year-old retired firefighter. He had spent his life responding to emergencies, staying strong and active, but now, the emergency seemed to be happening within his own body. Every night he found himself waking up 3, sometimes 4 times, with an urgent need to urinate. It disrupted his sleep, leaving him exhausted in the mornings. His wife, concerned by his constant fatigue, urged him to see a doctor. Leonard hesitated at first. "It's just part of getting older," he told himself. "You slow down and things don't work the way they used to." But when he found himself barely making it to the bathroom on time during the day, he knew he had to take action. His doctor explained that while prostate enlargement, benign prostatic hyperplasia, or BPH, is common with age, frequent urination isn't something men have to just accept. The National Institute of Diabetes and Digestive and Kidney Diseases explains that as men age, the prostate gland naturally enlarges, pressing against the bladder and urethra. This can lead to increased urinary urgency, weak flow, and interrupted sleep due to nighttime urination. Over time, excessive stimulation of the prostate and pelvic region can worsen bladder control, making it harder to empty the bladder fully. Leonard's doctor explained that his bladder and pelvic muscles were becoming fatigued, making it harder for him to maintain control. But the good news? There were simple, natural ways to regain balance and improve urinary health. Determined to make a change, Leonard followed his doctor's advice. He started doing daily pelvic floor exercises, Kegels, to strengthen the muscles that control urination. He also adjusted his hydration habits, staying hydrated during the day but cutting back on fluids before bed. Within a few weeks, something changed. Strengthen the pelvic floor. Pelvic exercises like Kegels help improve bladder control, reducing urgency and leakage. Monitor fluid intake. Drinking plenty of water during the day is essential, but reducing fluids in the evening helps prevent frequent nighttime urination. Limit bladder irritants. Caffeine, alcohol, and acidic foods can make urinary symptoms worse by irritating the bladder. Within weeks, Leonard noticed a difference. His nighttime awakenings reduced, his bladder control improved, and he felt more confident in his daily routine. The biggest surprise? his sleep quality dramatically improved, and his energy levels returned. One day, over coffee with an old friend, Leonard casually mentioned what he had learned. His friend, also in his 70s, leaned in and said, "You know, I thought I was the only one dealing with that. I just figured it was normal." Leonard smiled. "So did I, until I realized I could do something about it. So now I ask you, have you noticed subtle changes in your bladder habits that you once ignored? Could small adjustments make a difference in your comfort and well-being? Share your thoughts below. You never know who might benefit from your experience. 5. Emotional health. The ancient Greek philosopher Aristotle once wrote, "Man is by nature a social animal." He understood that human connection is not just a luxury, it is a necessity for survival and fulfillment. Yet as we age, many of us unknowingly drift into isolation, believing it to be a natural part of growing older. James, a 75-year-old retired school principal, had always been surrounded by people, his students, his colleagues, his family, but after his wife passed, the silence in his home became deafening. At first, he welcomed the solitude. He told himself it was time to reflect, to slow down. But weeks turned into months, and James found himself avoiding phone calls, declining invitations, and spending more time alone than he ever had before. One day, while sitting on his porch, he realized something strange. He couldn't remember the last time he had laughed. He couldn't recall the last time he had a real conversation that didn't involve small talk at the grocery store or nodding at a neighbor while retrieving the mail. He had fallen into a routine of solitude, and the longer it went on, the harder it became to reach out. What he didn't realize was that his brain, just like his body, was suffering from this lack of connection. Loneliness wasn't just an emotion, it was physically affecting his health. Research from the National Institute on Aging reveals that loneliness and social isolation are associated with higher risks of heart disease, stroke, dementia, and depression. Lack of social interaction can trigger chronic stress, weakening the immune system and accelerating cognitive decline. Studies show that seniors who remain socially engaged tend to live longer, healthier lives. James had unknowingly been depriving his brain of oxytocin and dopamine, the connection chemicals that promote happiness and well-being. But it wasn't too late to change. Determined to break free from his isolation, James made a simple but powerful decision. He picked up the phone and called an old friend. The conversation started awkwardly, but as they spoke, something inside him reignited. The next day he made another call, then another. Soon he found himself reconnecting with his community. He joined a local volunteer group, attended a weekly retirees' coffee gathering, and even started reading to children at the library. Stay socially engaged. Regular interaction, whether through phone calls, community events, or hobbies, helps protect mental and emotional well-being. Create new routines that involve others. Studies show that volunteering, joining clubs, or engaging in group activities can lower the risk of depression and dementia. Prioritize face-to-face connection. Even small interactions, like talking to a neighbor or sharing a meal with a friend, can help the brain stay active and resilient. James's emotional state transformed. He no longer felt like life was something he was simply passing through. He was part of it again. One afternoon, as he laughed with a group of friends over coffee, he realized something profound. Loneliness isn't just about being alone. It's about feeling disconnected. And connection is something we can rebuild at any age. So now, I ask you, when was the last time you truly connected with someone? Not just a passing chat, but a meaningful conversation that left you feeling uplifted? Take a moment today to reach out. You never know how much it might change your life or someone else's. As we grow older, every choice we make plays a role in shaping our long-term well-being. Small habits, whether physical, mental, or emotional, can either strengthen our health or quietly chip away at it. The good news? Awareness is the first step toward change. By understanding how our daily routines affect us, whether it's our heart health, sleep quality, energy levels, or emotional well-being, we gain the power to make better decisions for ourselves. Aging well isn't about perfection, it's about balance. Moderation, mindfulness, and meaningful human connections are the true secrets to maintaining vitality. If you've noticed shifts in your energy, mood, or overall health, consider taking small steps to realign your habits with what truly nourishes your body and mind. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Have any of these insights resonated with you? Which one surprised you the most? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Your experiences could help someone else on their journey to better health. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Your support helps bring more valuable content to those who need it most. Here's to a healthier, more vibrant life ahead.